Let's take you to our neighbours now, and the arrest of Zimbabwean journalist Hopewell Chin'ono and opposition politician Jacob Ngarivhume have caused outrage. The two have been accused of inciting people to participate in public violence. That comes after Ngarivhume called for nationwide protests to force government to fight corruption, or to encourage protests, rather, to fight corruption against government. We get you the latest now from our colleague in Zimbabwe. That would be Zenzele Ndebele. He's a journalist and director of the Center for Innovation and Technology. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. What do we know at this hour?
Well, what we know is that yesterday morning, police raided the house of investigative journalist Chin'ono, Hopewell Chin'ono. They later arrested him and took him to Harare Central Prison, Harare Central Police Station, rather. Jacob Ngarivhume was also arrested. They have not yet appeared in court, but we know that this morning police went to Hopewell's house where they were doing searches. They wanted to seize documents. There was even talk of trying to seize his camera. So this is just a broader, clamp down on press freedom and human rights by the Mnangagwa government, especially looking at going towards the July 31, where people have been calling for demonstrations to demonstrate against corruption in Zimbabwe.
Let's just remind our viewers of what happened the moment security police came into Hopewell's house. Let's take a look, listen. Well, in that video, he describes how the police are coming for him and they're entering his house. So you say they have not appeared in court as yet, meaning that they haven't been charged?
Well, from the police statement that was released yesterday, the police said they were charging them with inciting public violence. We expect them to appear in court sometime today, but with the Zimbabwean system, they might not. But basically, any time from now or today or latest tomorrow, they are supposed to appear in court for the initial court appearance.
It's oftentimes being said that the people of Zimbabwe should rise and show that they have had enough with what is happening in the country. But in recent months, we've also seen the arrest of doctors and nurses, amongst others, who have protested for several reasons. What does this tell us about the current administration, quite reminiscent of the Robert Mugabe administration?
I mean, one thing that I have always pointed out to many people is that this regime could actually be worse than Robert Mugabe's regime, because the people who are in the power right now are people who were in the forefront of the 5th Brigade, which was known as the Kukuraundi genocide, where over 20,000 Ndebeles were killed. So if you are looking at the top leadership in the form of the president, the vice president, if you are looking at the top generals in the army, some of them were in the 5th Brigade. So you are actually ruled by people who were responsible for a genocide, and these are people who are ruthless, who are cruel, who can kill people, as they demonstrated in 2018 August. They also did that in January 2016 when there were food riots. So you're dealing with people who just don't care about people's lives. So whenever people talk about the Zimbabweans not rising, I mean, we have to realize that over the years, Zimbabweans they've tried their means to demonstrate, but they've always been met with stiff resistance. A lot of people have lost their lives since 2000 trying to stand up for this government. So we are really dealing with a brutal regime here.
Has this in any way deterred people on the ground from attending the protests on the 31st?
So far, it's difficult to tell whether people are going to go out, but we know that this afternoon the president of Zimbabwe, Emmerson Mnangagwa, is supposed to address the nation, where he is likely to introduce strict restrictions in the name of lockdown, because we've seen COVID cases in the rise. So we expect the president of Zimbabwe to probably lock down Bulawayo and Harare, the two cities that have the highest rates or the highest numbers of COVID. So that will be even make it more difficult for people to actually go out on the 31st, because we expect, many analysts expect that this time the lockdown will be even more serious than the previous one.
Are you not fearful for your life? Are you not concerned being a journalist in a country where this brazenly happens?
Well, we chose a profession with all the risks that it have. For me, I've always told people that, better die talking than die silent. A lot of things have happened in my life. A lot of people have happened to journalists. I think there comes a time when you then say the truth needs to be told, despite the consequences that come of the truth. At the end of the day, all of us are going to die. Whether you kill me today or the next day, you are also going to die. You don't get to spare life because you've killed me.
You take care of yourself. Journalist Zenzele Ndebele out in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe for us. Thank you.